if you guys noticed, I think this just popped up today. Swizz Beatz and Timbaland, they sold the rights to Verzuz to a company called 𝗀𝗲. 𝗀𝗲, who I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they own TikTok as well. Parent company for TikTok. And Timbaland and Swizz were talking about it was dope for them to be able to come up with something and own it, fully own it and then sell it. But also the 43 members that were a part of Verzuz will get a piece of what they were paid for selling it as well, which I think is dope. And he talked about the importance of, I thought so too when I said that, but they're going to get broke off a portion. Now, how much it was not disclosed, so we don't know. He talked about the importance of ownership, black ownership, and things of that nature. The flip side, Akademiks, who the ultimate cornball in my opinion, he talked about the comment. There's a release where he was on a Twitch stream, I guess, and Jay-Z is a classic Switch person. He's not doing it for black people. He's doing it for his own selfish means. And this is in regards to, him selling his champagne. He sold the ownership for that. And he also flipped Tidal. And they were talking about how they went overseas and saw that the ownership for Tidal, the staff for Tidal didn't have any black people. But Jay's always talking about black excellence and black owned. And I think I saw the homie. If y'all don't know who Choke No Joke is, used to be a videographer for The Rock. He's been talking about Jay for like the past 10, 15 years. I think they really owe him some money because I've never seen someone talk that much about somebody else. He probably owe him some serious bread. But he was talking about it as
Jay-Z's values went up 40% in the last week.
No doubt. And he flipped it and made a profit. And I've seen a lot of people in the black community. Let's be honest, especially on all of my social media platforms where they're saying Jay is really just out here, to get money, and he's not about black people and all that. And I'm looking at it like, my opinion, he's talking about black excellence. He's going to own these. He actually acquires and owns, multiple companies and brands, decides to sell them to make more money and then expand his business portfolio. And somehow people are thinking he should just stay a black owner for what he has and not expand his brand. Like he's duping people into supporting things that are black owned. I'm not necessarily sure I agree with that because it's an example of how you can boss up and go out and purchase things and own things. To me, that's the message. It's not about him selling it or flipping it. It's about the fact that he acquired it. That's just how I see it. Jay Diff, I'll come to you first. What do you think about that with people, talking about Jay saying that he's not, necessarily for black people on the flip side, not saying anything about Timbo or Swizz. They just flipped it and kept on moving and nobody brought up anything. And then people will say, obviously, well, Swizz and Timbo aren't really pushing the black excellence thing, but they 100% are, and they always hashtag that. So how do you feel about that, man? People coming at Jay's head, and not necessarily saying too much about Swizz and Timbo, who did the exact same thing.
And it's to the point now where a lot of people, if they ain't Jay, they hate Jay. It doesn't matter what he does. If he's making a move in the right direction, and to them it's not right because unfortunately they're not in a position to where they can make any decisions like that. I mean, if you think about America, he's actually broke this shit down in his lyrics plenty of times. As far as acquiring things, make a profit, move it, and then do something else. He's doing it as Black American in a capitalistic society. He's definitely capitalizing on that. And from my understanding, when he sold Tidal, artists or people that were co-sharers actually benefited off of that too. And some of the people that they named were Kanye West, Tiana Taylor, I think, was she one of them?
Rihanna,
Beyonce, of course,
Nicki
Rihanna, Nicki Minaj. Yeah. So these are people that are, you know what I'm saying, his peers that are Black. What people don't realize right now is literally, unfortunately, we're still writing the book on Black excellence, because if you think about it, we haven't been in a position to be winning hundreds of thousands of years. So people like Jay-Z are actually being write history to put people in position to be owners and kind of show you what to do, giving you the blueprint, for lack of better words. You know what I'm saying? And you just need to, I think people need to get out of their feelings a lot. Stop blaming everything and think that everything is against them. Turn is a good look to show you that you can do this shit too. It's kind of like when we didn't think that we would see a black president in our lifetime. Now that we did, it makes it a lot more believable to see one again. You know what I'm saying? So it has to be done in order for you to kind of see where the footprints were laid in the sand for those to follow without being so judgmental, especially coming from a place where you're not able to do that yourself, or you don't know what you would be able to do if you were in a position like Jay.
Can dig that. I can dig that. Yeah. Well said, brother. Lone, what you think, man? Did you know, this might be a weird position for you, but because I am coming from, the black.
I don't think there's anything. I don't think there's anything wrong with what Jay-Z has done. I think he's a part of the capitalist society. He's paid. He's actually, quote unquote, playing the white man's game, if you will, right? If we think of the rich white man, he's playing that game and he's succeeding, and but the one thing that he is doing, he is doing along the way is he's creating opportunities, whether it's with his weed business or his marijuana business I don't know the full details on it, or whether it's with Tidal and bringing, all a bunch of musicians along with it, and everything else that he's done. I think Jay-Z is a great model for, somebody with success, how you can continue your success, grow your success, if you will, but also bring others along with you to win at high levels. So, that's my take.
Like it. I'm not bad at it. Jay Moore, put a bow on this one. I know we run a little short, getting close to our hour, but what you think about this, man? Because I like the example he said myself.
This is the thing, people want to say, "Oh, well, Jay-Z didn't do this," or he, like, I always say, like, how just the four of you, how many of y'all got Tidal? Raise your hand.
No, I don't
have it, but I don't have it now.
But I don't have anything. So
yeah.
There's that.
And so the same people who will say, "Oh, Jay-Z shouldn't have done that," like they didn't, when they had an option to leave whatever streaming service they were with and go to Tidal, they didn't do it. I have much criticism for President Obama, and it's not that I'm trying to liken Jay-Z to President Obama, but a lot of the people who like to talk shit about President Obama didn't vote in the midterm elections. And so those, since they didn't go vote in the midterm elections, that means, Obama didn't have a Congress. He didn't have a Senate that would back the things that he wanted to do. So he couldn't do all the things he wanted to do. And it's the same thing when you're talking about Jay-Z, you're saying, "Oh, well, he shouldn't have done this." I was like, well, you didn't, you went and was still with the free or whatever, the lower price situation at Tidal. Here is a black man who has his own, and you didn't want to go over here. And it's a situation where if you're an artist, it pays you more, and you might be an artist, but you still got a subscription to Spotify, instead of getting a subscription to Tidal, and so that's on you. And the thing is, Jay-Z bought this, basically secured Tidal for about $57 million. He sold a portion of it to Sprint, because I remember that's what enticed me to get Tidal, because I was able to get it through Sprint, my account, and get 444.
The joint with the 444 album, yeah.
Exactly. And he sold that portion for $200 million. All right. And then, even though the numbers and the revenue have not particularly increased, when you really, this is the thing, a lot of people don't read. And so, like, when you go and look at the numbers, and so he was able to sell the rest of the controlling interest, not all of it, the controlling interest, and still be able to sit at the board of Square.
Yep, exactly.
For $297 million. So So he bought something for $50-something million and was able to flip it less than maybe 6 years later for $500 million. And we're mad at Jay-Z.
Smart.
Like,
that's smart
that just
money.
shows a lot of you have never owned anything, and you don't understand business. You just think that being woke on Twitter is a thing to be. Like, what does Akademiks actually own that he could really have this criticism of Jay-Z or Swizz Beatz or Timbaland or anybody else? All I see him doing is streaming on Twitch. And as far as I'm concerned, as far as I know, he doesn't have a partnership with them.
There's a partnership with 6ix9ine.
Yeah.
The partnership with 6ix9ine. That's about it.
There's for him to say those things, I don't think that's legitimate criticism. I mean, he can have his opinion. Everyone is entitled to their opinion. But
sure,
you don't have to.
You don't own Twitch.
I was able to, when we were going to talk about this tonight, I said, okay, let me go on Forbes and let me look at let me just do a little reading.
I'll make it. And
it didn't take me long to go ahead and come up with like, oh, this was smart business on Jay, for him to jump in at 50 million and basically flip it for almost 500 million.
Yep.
And I'm mad at him for what now? Right. So
that's the goal. That's the goal.
Go ahead, Terry. Go ahead.
Do it. If you're going to acquire a business, your whole goal is to get it out of the red. If it is in the red, get it on the other side to where it's making you coin. Just making you coin. You're ready to move on to something else. Sell it at a profit, and your friends and your coworkers or constituents, they all benefit from it. And that's a win, just like with the Verzuz thing. Everybody that's been on Verzuz is benefiting. They actually have a share in the Triller Verzuz merger. Everybody that's already been on there. So everybody's eating. As long as everybody's eating that's involved with the situation, what do I have to say? I'm not in a position to be on either one of those networks right now. So kudos to them.
And even more so with the title thing, Jay-Z sold it to somebody who when he sells it to Square, he's selling it to Jack Dorsey, who's the CEO of Square, who's also the, I believe, co-founder of Twitter. And part of it is he did it because, one, he could be on the board of Square and still be a part of it, but also, what was my point? I don't want to say he necessarily vetted Jack Dorsey, but they definitely had talks, and there was definitely pictures of them on a yacht together talking about potential stuff like this. And part of the statement was, I like what Square and Jack Dorsey's, where they could potentially take Tidal to be even bigger in the end game. And let's not get it twisted. Tidal is one of the best streaming platforms for independent and major artists. They get the most money from it. So,
I'm just confused. I'm just confused as to how Jay-Z is being a bad example. And this is the dumb shit I'm saying. I'm confused as to how Jay-Z is being a bad example for Black people by making smart business moves as a owner and a boss.
I think I understand the other side. And I think from woke Twitter standpoint, it has to do, in my opinion, with the buying in to the idea that capitalism is actually good for us. I think that's where it comes from. And so what's good for Jay-Z isn't going to be good for the rest of society necessarily. And to me, that's where I think that line is.
Yeah. I think that's
which I agree with. And I agree with that. So,
that's fair.
Anything that's seen as a move that's strictly about capitalism is sometimes seen as it's against the people or against artistry. So I understand where people are coming from, but at the same time, like I said, you jump in for 50 million and you make 500 million. Am I supposed to be mad at you because you made a move?
He's playing the game and he's winning.
Yeah, and like I said, like
people don't realize.
I remember that Ice of all people, Ice-T, someone who was influenced Jay-Z. He said, "Look, I'm like the white man. You got to pay to see me." And so like it's you know, a lot of times like we want to say, oh no, everybody should get $2 a record and all this. I was like, look, that's not how the white man did it, and that's not how he got to where he is. So why should we do the same thing?
Jay-Z said he is overcharging for what they did to Cold Crush. They wasn't making his paper like that back then, and Jay-Z is making for damn sure knowing that he's gonna get his and provide for his lineage and those to come. And if you're in a position to rub elbows and sit at the table with Jay-Z and feast on some of that black excellence, then I'm with you when you're right, because I wish I was there too.
Jay Diff, what you just described is
Jay-Z said, let's not get rich, let's get wealthy. And what he's doing is getting wealthy. And if you can pass that generational wealth on to your beautiful black children, I'm not mad.
Jay Diff, what you just described is, you were talking about the sitting at the table and all that. You just described Robert Kraft and Jerry Jones. I don't hear Pete from white folks talking about them. So
I do. I talk
y'all
about
need to stop, Lone. And on that note, because I'm not about to do this for long, y'all make sure.
If you've enjoyed this segment of the New Old Heads podcast, make sure to join our live show every Tuesday from 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/newoldheads. And we invite you to join our hip hop community on Discord. Access it by going to newoldheads.com/community for talks on hip hop, sports, music, news, and everything else.